Good morning, friends. As you can see, I look a little bit different. I did do my hair yesterday. I spent literally all day doing my hair yesterday and I'm just ready to relax. But that's not what today's video is about. I am officially going on a book buying ban. Part of it is my husband. My husband's putting me on a book buying ban, which, you know what? I'm not even mad about it because I do have a ton of books that need to be read. Well, when I say a ton, I feel like that's very subjective because there are a lot of people I see on here sometimes that have like 70 books on their physical TBR, and I think I just have like maybe 11, which is really not that bad. Even though I'm going on a book buying ban, I'm buying one more book. Well, I already ordered the book, but we're gonna go pick it up. I have been reading the Caraval series. I just finished Legendary, which is the second book in the series. I enjoyed this so much more in comparison to the first one. The first one wasn't bad. Like, I actually did like it, but it definitely could have been better. I think I'll get into it a little bit more later. I know that I said in my July TBR video that I was not gonna bother finishing this trilogy in order to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, but then when I picked this one up, I absolutely loved it, that I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna finish this trilogy. So let's go, because I have to hurry up and be back for the time that my grocery delivery arrives, which part of me is like, why did I order my groceries for delivery if I'm leaving the house anyway? I could have just done it for pickup. But anyways, let's go, let's hurry up. Okay, we're back home. I opened up the package, which, by the way, is it just me or Amazon needs to learn a thing or two? This is what the books come in when you order from Indigo. It just wraps around the book, nice and protected, but Amazon, they just be throwing the books in those plastic parcel things. Like, it doesn't work out. Anyways, so I don't know if I mentioned it, but Finale is the book that I picked up as my final book for this book buying ban. My husband said try not to buy any books until September, so that's what we're doing over here. Let me just say, I really am a fan. Obviously, I still have one more book to get through, but I am a fan. I'm very happy. If you've never read Caraval, you've never heard what it's about, basically it is about this game created by this man named Legend, and it's a game full of magic. One of the biggest things that the actors in this game keep telling game players is to remember that's only a game. It says it right there, remember it's only a game. So I found this so interesting because I felt like as a reader it was a reminder even to us to remember that not everything around these characters is real. Sometimes it's just an illusion, it's the magic or it's acting. This first book follows Scarlet, and her sister get invited to Caraval, and when Scarlet arrives she realizes that this game is about her sister. So her sister is basically the person who needs to be found. Second one, so much better. It was so good. So Scarlet in the first one, she's very timid. She's not really one to take a lot of risks, but her sister Tella, she's definitely way more of a risk taker. This one follows Tella after the first one. I can't really say too much without spoiling it, but this one has a lot going on, let's just say. I will say though, I have a problem though with searching up things on Google and spoiling books for myself. I wanted to look up fan art for this one character because I was just interested to see how people viewed him, and basically it just spoiled a decent thing in the story for me. Literally the first thing that popped up was a spoiler for me, so still really enjoyed it nonetheless. And then Jax. Let's get into Jax. If you didn't know, this trilogy is in the same world as the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I knew that the worlds connected, but I wasn't sure how much they connected. However, Jax, the main male character in Once Upon a Broken Heart, he is a character in this one, and he's actually somewhat significant. I really am excited to see more about him. He's definitely one of those characters, morally gray character that is kind of the villain, but you love him anyway. Not in this book. Not in this book. I don't like him in this book though. However, I've seen so many people really like him in Once Upon a Broken Heart, so we'll have to see. Maybe he's gonna be like Rhysand, where he comes off very evil, but he's not. But he's definitely a villain in this one. Not too likable. Since I haven't read Once Upon a Broken Heart, I can't really give insight on if I think you should read this one first. A lot of people say that you don't have to, but I do think from the people I've heard that from, they usually have only read the first one. If a character is in a previous novel, it's nice to kind of like learn more about them. And just know, if you're getting into this, this is not a romance. Romance is definitely like a subplot in the first one. It's hardly even there in the first one. I would say there's a little bit more in the second one. I can't tell you about the third one yet. This is definitely a slower fantasy. It's very much riddles, twists, turns, opening up things of the past. Now I just have to get into finale, which I'm going to start reading just now as my daughter's sleeping. I'm so excited to get into this one. Not on my TBR. So this is officially the first book that is not on my TBR for the month, but I'm gonna read it anyway. While we're here, because we're talking about book buying bans, let me show you guys my physical TBR. It's not bad whatsoever. Like I said, I just want to go on a book buying ban anyway because I need to get through the books that I have. The only problem is a lot of my books are the first books in series, so that's where it's gonna be hard with the book buying ban. Let me grab my physical TBR and we can just do like a little bit of a book haul, if you will. Okay, now let's start with all of my standalones. I have definitely purchased a lot more books than what I have here in the last few months, but I decided I'm just going to share with you guys the ones that I haven't read, except for one. I have read it, but I bought it after reading it. I do have all the other Magnolia Parks books, but I just didn't have Daisy Hates. As soon as I found out that the new publishers for Magnolia Parks were going to be changing the covers, I had to get my hands on this. I kept seeing everywhere that you couldn't really buy the old ones, and I was like, absolutely not. I searched high and low. Thankfully, Amazon released a couple more and I bought it. Honestly, praise the Lord, because I was not one of those people that ended up getting like a larger book. All of my books are the exact same size, but the only thing is I know the new ones are not going to be the same size. I picked up The Bodyguard by Catherine Center from the library. I like to throw little rom-coms into my TBR because they're very lighthearted. I feel like sometimes when you read fantasy, they can feel like very information heavy and your brain just feels like, okay, I took in a lot. I just need something calm. I've been wanting to read this for a while because ever since I read Twisted Games by Anna Huang, I don't like the series, but I did really like Twisted Games, which is about a princess and a bodyguard. So I heard a lot of people like the whole bodyguard trope, and this one, I think the bodyguard is actually the female in this one, but I heard that it's really cute, it's really good, so I decided to pick it up. We'll see how I like it. I have, and I've mentioned it so many times, I have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Second chance, was married, had kids, and now they are wondering, did they make a mistake separating? Then I have House of Eve by Shadika Johnson. I've had this for 4 months. I got this for my birthday and I still haven't picked it up. I am very sorry to this book that I haven't picked it up yet. I really did want to read it back then, and then things started to change. This is a historical fiction. It is about 2 different women, and I know one of them, she basically is the first in her family to attend college, even though her mother was very focused on raising her to find a husband. And then the second woman that it's about, she actually is in university. She meets a man. His family's not very accepting of their relationship, and she thinks having a baby is what's going to save their relationship. So the 2 of them, different stories, but I believe the stories connect in some sort of way. This is the one that I'm very sad to even own. I have Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. The reason that I say that I'm sad about owning this is because I had every intention of reading this book, I think last month, and I didn't. But now I don't have any desire to read it at all. I think the best review that I've seen on this book is a 3-star. I know a lot of people are not happy with certain things that happen in this book, which is kind of how a lot of people felt with Every Summer After, but a lot more people said they still loved it even though there was something in it that they didn't like. So I just have this sitting here. The rest of them are all part of series, so that's lovely. I have like 10 that are part of series here. You guys already know I'm not even going to get into that but that's another book that's on my physical TBR. Next, I have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And this one, I believe, is like one of those riddles and rhymes type of books. So this girl named Avery, she basically gets inheritance from a man that she doesn't even know, but he has 4 grandsons that all obviously want this inheritance. And I believe that there are riddles and secret passages and things like that, and they have to play like this game. I have no idea. Next, I have From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. Again, don't know too much about this book, but I've heard so many people say if you love ACOTAR, you will probably like this book. And I do have the 2 that come after this one. I got these 2 at Value Village. I got this one for $3.99. The spine is very well cracked, but $3.99. Then I got the next one for $5.99, and this one's in literally perfect condition. Whoever brought this to Value Village most likely didn't even read it. I literally don't know one thing about this book, not one. So if you've read it, enlighten me, please. I also have Shatter Me. This is a book I've been wanting to read for a while, and I believe it's a very long series, but all of the books are very short. So is it really long? I guess not. I believe this is a dystopian about a girl who has a touch that kills people. Like if she touches people, they die. And I think she is in some sort of establishment that is like locking her up because of this. And I know everyone really loves this man named Aaron Warner in this book as well. And you know me, subplot romance, perfect. Then I do have the next one. I got this one at Value Village as well. I got this one for $3.99 because it is a lot more used. Next, I am very excited for this one because you guys already know absolutely love ACOTAR. I think A Court of Mist and Fury is my #1 book for the year. Usually it's so hard to say that something is your favorite and just leave it at 1, but I really think Asimov is my top favorite book of this year. Because of that, I really want to get into more Sarah J Maas books. I want to get into the Sarah J Maas world. And next, before going into Crescent City, I'm going to read the Throne of Glass series. And all I keep seeing is people talk about all these different reading orders. So I decided to go with the chronological order. So basically, The Assassin's Blade. This is a book of, I believe, 4 or 5 novellas. These novellas came out before Throne of Glass, so I decided I'm just going to read it in this order. I've heard different versions of like tandem reading. I'm not tandem reading. It sounds fun, but it also sounds like stress. You guys already know I have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This one is about Evangeline, and the love of her life is marrying someone else. So she goes to the Prince of Hearts to make a deal, and if you read Caraval already, or at least the second book in Caraval, you already know not a good idea. I have had this book since my birthday. Since March, I've had this book. I've been wanting to read it, and I feel like it was all God making sure that I read Caraval first, because I'm really glad that I did. So I have the Ballad of Never After as well. I got this one from Value Village as well. $5.99 that I got this, which is crazy to me because it's such a popular book. I never would have thought I would find this at Value Village. This is the second book that comes after Once Upon a Broken Heart, The Ballad of Never After. I've heard this book is crazy and is so much better than the first one. So I just need to get into this trilogy like ASAP, especially because the 3rd book in the trilogy comes out September. I think after I read this one, if I really do love it, I'm gonna buy the UK editions because they're so pretty and they're different, they're unique. I don't know what it is, but UK just seems to get really good editions of things sometimes. That is my little book haul. These are all of the books on my physical TBR. All of the books that have been waiting to be read. I'm officially on my book buying ban. Sometimes there's just a thrill about purchasing a book and holding that brand new crisp cover. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Wish me luck on this book buying ban. I think I'll be fine, honestly, because I don't think I'm that bad, but wish me luck because, again, lots of series. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.